The argument began over cake. Not mine, my brother's. It was a towering 3-tier cake, covered in fondant and detailed with custom lettering for his graduation. The receipt sat right there on the kitchen counter when I walked in, $2,300. My dad didn't ask me to pay for it, he told me I would. "You've got money just lying around," he muttered, eyes glued to his phone. There was no mention of the rent I contributed, the groceries I bought, or how I paid for my own textbooks while my brother had his entire education funded. I said one word, no. 2 days later, he approached me again, this time about the car. "Your brother needs it more than you do. You work from home. He's got places to be." I laughed, not because it was humorous, but because it was so painfully predictable. Again, I said no, calm and firm. And I meant it. That same night, I came home to find the locks changed. My laundry basket was sitting on the porch. A black trash bag stuffed with my belongings was tossed beside it like it belonged on the curb. No explanation. No goodbye. Just banishment. All because I dared to stand up for myself. For that week, I slept in my car, the same one they tried to take from me. An old 2008 Civic with a sticky dashboard, a cracked sunroof, and the smell of burnt oil and old French fries lingering in the air. But it was mine. And that suddenly meant everything. I moved fast. I found a tiny studio apartment on Craigslist, peeling wallpaper, walls thin enough to hear the neighbors breathe. I picked up extra freelance work, lived off ramen, and didn't complain. From afar, I watched their world go on. Instagram told the story: gold balloons, champagne toasts, tailored suits. A perfect graduation celebration. They looked joyful. I looked invisible. But time is funny, it always circles back. A year later, my brother stood at my doorstep. He looked thinner, paler. His eyes scanned my modest apartment like it offended him. "Hey, Dad said you might be able to help." I crashed the car. "Need help paying for repairs?" "Yes, that car. My Civic. The one I refused to hand over." Turns out, they had convinced Grandpa to co-sign a lease for a newer vehicle 6 months ago. My brother totaled it last weekend. Drunk driving. I let him speak. I nodded, offered brief responses. No emotion. And then I said it again, no. He stared like the word was foreign, like it meant something different coming from me. I shut the door on his stunned face. Locked it. That was only the beginning. Word started spreading. Dad's side hustle had turned into a full-blown IRS disaster. Unpaid taxes, falsified paperwork, auditors crawling through every inch of his business like flies on a carcass. I only knew because a former client reached out. She'd recognized my name on an old invoice, one he forged using my information. Sloppy. Obvious. He really thought I wouldn't notice. But he underestimated how much I'd learned. I gathered it all: screenshots, call records, document copies, even signature comparisons showing his shaky imitation of mine. Then I handed it all over, not to the police, but to his longtime competitor. A man he used to belittle. Now he owed that man a whole lot more than an apology. 3 weeks later, his business license was revoked. Bank accounts frozen. Equipment repossessed. He called me. Just once. No shouting. No threats. Just silence. Then, "I never thought you'd turn against your family." I told him the truth. "You turned first." Today I still drive that Civic. It rattles in the cold and smells like leftover takeout, but it runs. And I sleep in a bed I paid for, in a home where I own the locks. I don't see them anymore, not out of fear, but because I found peace. I waited patiently for the tables to turn. And when they finally did, I didn't scream or seek vengeance. I just said no. And I watched karma take care of the rest. The irony? They still don't get it. They call it misfortune. Blame the economy. Call it bad luck. They never noticed the mirror I held up to them. But I did. And that's all that matters. What I learned in that year alone was simple. Silence can be sharper than words. Distance is its own kind of strength. And sometimes, revenge doesn't need noise. It's quiet. Unshakable. It's simply refusing to be used ever again. They threw me out, thinking I'd break. But the truth? I was already walking away. And they've been falling ever since.